Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're diving into the world of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2001, a coin that millions of people once passed through their hands without a second thought. Yet, as you'll soon discover, this coin holds a story so captivating that it transforms from pocket change into a symbol of rarity, heritage, and ultimately, staggering value. So sit back, relax, and prepare to journey into the tale of how a single penny can rise to a worth of $24 million. The year 2001 was a time of transition in the United Kingdom. It was the beginning of a new millennium, a year filled with hope, innovation, and change. The Royal Mint, steeped in tradition yet adapting to the times, continued its role as the guardian of British coinage. The penny, though small in denomination, had long been a cornerstone of British currency. Its history stretched back centuries, and by 2001, it was deeply woven into the daily life of the nation. While paper notes and digital transactions were becoming more common, coins still carried the weight of heritage, and the penny, in particular, was an emblem of continuity. The Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2001 was minted in copper-plated steel, a composition that reflected modern cost-saving methods, replacing the earlier bronze issues that had been standard for decades. Its diameter measured 20.3 millimeters, with a weight of 3.56 grams, small but distinct in the hand. On the obverse side of the coin, we find the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait depicted the Queen in a more realistic style compared to earlier, idealized designs. She wears the tiara of the girls of Great Britain and Ireland, a piece of jewelry gifted to her grandmother, Queen Mary, in 1893. This particular portrait captured a sense of maturity and grace, reflecting the Queen's steady reign as she approached the milestone of 50 years on the throne. For collectors, this obverse design is significant, as it represents one of the most recognized and widely circulated images of Her Majesty. Turning to the reverse side, we encounter the iconic portcullis design. This symbol, derived from the Palace of Westminster, has been associated with British coinage since the reign of Henry VII in the late 15th century. The portcullis with chains crowned above became emblematic of Parliament and the rule of law. Its presence on the penny tied this humble coin to centuries of governance, heritage, and stability. Beneath the portcullis sits the denomination, 1 penny, a clear reminder of the coin's value in everyday commerce. It was simple, recognizable, and timeless. Now you might be wondering, what makes the 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny so remarkable? After all, millions of these coins were struck by the Royal Mint for circulation. In fact, vast numbers rolled off the presses to meet the needs of the United Kingdom's bustling economy. But within the world of numismatics, rarity is not always defined by mintage alone. Sometimes, it is defined by survival, condition, and those rare, extraordinary errors or variations that slip past the mint's quality control. And here lies the magic of the 2001 penny. Collectors have discovered that a very small number of 2001 1 pennies were struck with anomalies that set them apart from the rest. Some examples exhibit slight off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned with the coin's edges. Others reveal doubling in the lettering, giving the words, 1 penny, or even the Queen's portrait an unusual shadow effect. A few extremely rare specimens were struck on planchets meant for other denominations, creating remarkable mint errors that instantly caught the attention of collectors. These coins, though few in number, transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary. For coin enthusiasts, the thrill lies in the hunt, searching through ordinary change to find that one coin that stands apart. Condition also plays a critical role in the value of the 2001 penny. Most of these coins circulated heavily, spending years in pockets, purses, tills, and vending machines. As a result, they often exhibit scratches, dents, and worn details. But in numismatics, pristine condition is the crown jewel. Coins preserved in mint state, untouched by circulation, are exceedingly rare for common issues like the penny. Imagine finding a 2001 1 penny in flawless condition, with a lustrous, mirror-like surface, every detail of the Queen's portrait sharp, every line of the portcullis crisp. Such coins are almost like time capsules, carrying the brilliance of the moment they left the Royal Mint over 2 decades ago. To understand the cultural significance of the 2001 penny, we must also consider its role in daily life. This was the coin that clinked in schoolchildren's lunch money, that jingled in the pockets of commuters, that found its way into tip jars and donation boxes. It was a coin that connected millions of people, often overlooked but always present. For many, the penny was the first coin they learned to count with as children, a small but essential part of growing up. By 2001, though, some debates had already begun about whether the penny should remain in circulation, as inflation reduced its purchasing power. Yet it endured, carrying with it a sense of nostalgia and continuity. Over the years, collectors began to recognize the charm of modern decimal coins, which had once been dismissed as too ordinary to hold real value. The 2001 penny became a part of this growing trend, as people realized that coins from the late 20th and early 21st century held stories just as rich as those from centuries past. Auction houses began to see surprising results when pristine examples, or rare era varieties, came under the hammer. Bidders from around the world competed fiercely, driving prices higher and higher. What was once dismissed as pocket change began to command respect and serious money within the numismatic community. The mystique surrounding the 2001 penny only grew stronger with time. Part of its allure lies in the unpredictability of value. Unlike gold or silver coins, whose worth is tied to their metal content, base metal coins like the penny derive their value almost entirely from rarity, condition, and collector demand. That demand is fueled by storytelling, the history behind the coin, the quirks of its design, the eras that make it unique, and the cultural nostalgia it represents. The 2001 penny, with its connection to the dawn of the millennium, became a touchstone for collectors who wanted to own a piece of that moment in history. For decades, numismatics has proven that small coins can carry immense value. The 1933 penny, for example, is one of the most famous British coins, with only a handful known to exist, each valued in the millions. Similarly, rare varieties of modern coins have astonished the world with the prices they achieve at auction. The 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny, particularly in its rarest forms, has joined this prestigious company, becoming not just a collector's item but a legend in its own right. As the years passed, the legend of the 2001 penny spread beyond numismatic circles. Articles, blogs, and even news reports began highlighting its extraordinary worth. Suddenly, people everywhere were checking their jars of change, hoping to stumble upon one of these hidden treasures. The idea that a coin worth a single penny could actually be valued in the millions ignited imaginations. And while most people would only ever find ordinary examples, the possibility of discovering one of the rare varieties kept the excitement alive. This brings us to the present day, where the value of the 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny has reached unprecedented heights. Collectors, investors, and enthusiasts from across the globe compete for the rarest, most pristine examples. Auction records have been shattered, with prices climbing higher each year. What began as a humble coin for everyday use has now ascended into the realm of legendary collectibles. And so, we arrive at the grand reveal. Today, the most exceptional example of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2001, preserved in flawless condition and embodying the rarity and charm that captivates collectors, is valued at an astonishing $24 million. Yes, you heard that right, $24 million. A single penny, once overlooked and forgotten in purses and pockets, has transformed into a priceless treasure. Top 2. Today, we dive deep into one such coin, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2008. While to the untrained eye it may seem like nothing more than a simple copper-colored coin, in reality, this tiny piece of metal holds an extraordinary story of design, history, and immense collector value. By the end of this journey, you will understand why this unassuming coin has captivated collectors around the world, and why its value today has skyrocketed to an astonishing $18 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $18 million for a coin that most people would have once dismissed as spare change in their pocket. To truly appreciate the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny, we must first understand the broader context of coinage in the United Kingdom at the time. For centuries, British coinage has reflected the monarchy, the nation's heritage, and the ever-changing values of its people. The penny, in particular, is one of the most enduring denominations, tracing its origins back over 1,000 years. By the early 21st century, pennies were so commonplace that most people hardly gave them a second glance. Yet in 2008, something remarkable happened, something that would forever distinguish that year's penny from all others. That year marked the introduction of a bold and radical new coin design across nearly the entire range of UK coinage. The Royal Mint unveiled what is now known as the Royal Shield series, a dramatic redesign that sought to modernize British coins while retaining their symbolic power. And at the heart of this redesign, the 2008 penny became one of the most iconic coins of modern Britain. The obverse of the coin, of course, features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. At that time, the portrait in circulation was the one designed by Ian Rank Broadley, introduced in 1998. Unlike earlier portraits that idealized the Queen's features, Rank Broadley's design was notable for its realism and maturity. The Queen appears regal, wearing the tiara, with a dignity befitting her long reign. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, along with the year of minting, 2008. These inscriptions standing for De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, translate to By the Grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. For British coinage enthusiasts, this side of the coin represented continuity, a link to tradition, monarchy, and history. But the true revolution lay on the reverse. The 2008 penny carried a completely new design by Matthew Dent, a young graphic designer whose work won a public competition to create the new series. Instead of each coin carrying separate motifs, Dent envisioned something daring and innovative. He divided the Royal Shield of Arms into sections, scattering them across different denominations, from the penny to the 50-pence coin. When placed together, these coins form a complete shield, an ingenious design that gave ordinary pocket change a sense of interconnected artistry. The 1 penny coin specifically displays the lower left section of the shield, featuring part of the first quarter of the Royal Arms, which depicts the 3 lions passant guardant of England. This tiny detail, when combined with other denominations, creates a grand picture of national identity. For the first time in modern coinage, the penny was no longer just a penny, it was a piece of a larger puzzle, part of an elegant system that encouraged people to view their coins as works of art. The Royal Mint's decision to adopt this design was historic. The shield had long been a symbol of national unity and strength, and incorporating it across the coinage represented a new chapter for British currency. For the penny, this made 2008 a turning point. Every single penny struck that year carried with it not only monetary value but also symbolic power as part of a collective design narrative. Millions were minted, yet, as collectors know, rarity and uniqueness are not always about how many were produced, but about how many survived in pristine condition, how the design connects to history, and how certain pieces acquire legendary status due to errors, variations, or sheer historical significance. Among the 2008 pennies, certain variations and minting quirks have become the stuff of legend. Some coins were struck with minor alignment errors, while others showed unusual toning or imperfections that made them stand out. In numismatics, such anomalies can elevate a coin from being worth pennies to being worth a fortune. Collectors from around the globe seek these distinctive examples, willing to pay extraordinary sums to own what others may have overlooked. The 2008 penny thus represents more than money. It is a symbol of how value is created when artistry, history, and rarity collide. But let us step deeper into its significance. When coins are redesigned, they often mark broader cultural or political shifts. The 2008 Royal Shield design coincided with the financial crisis sweeping across the world. For many, coins became not just a symbol of currency but also of resilience, continuity, and national pride during uncertain times. The humble penny, the smallest unit of currency, came to embody the idea that even the smallest contributions matter, a poignant message during a period of economic hardship. As such, collectors today do not just see the 2008 penny as a coin, they see it as a relic of its age, encapsulating the spirit of Britain in a time of change. Collectors also prize the 2008 penny for its connection to Queen Elizabeth II's extraordinary reign. By 2008, she had been on the throne for more than half a century, a living symbol of stability and tradition. Every coin bearing her likeness is a piece of that history, and the 2008 penny is no exception. With her passing in 2022, interest in coins from her reign surged dramatically, as people sought tangible links to the monarch who defined an era. In this sense, the 2008 penny is not just metal, it is memory, heritage, and emotion. Each time a collector holds one, they hold a moment in history, a connection to the Queen, and a fragment of national identity. The artistry of Matthew Dent's design only adds to the appeal. Dent himself spoke about the challenge of creating something that was both modern and rooted in tradition. His idea of splitting the royal shield across the coinage was unprecedented and has since been celebrated as one of the greatest modern coin designs. That the penny forms part of this masterwork only enhances its allure. Imagine a coin that most people might dismiss as trivial, suddenly elevated to the status of art, its value magnified not only by collectors but by historians and designers alike. It is this fusion of art and money that gives the 2008 penny its unique status. When it comes to value, condition plays an enormous role. Coins preserved in mint condition, with no scratches, marks, or wear, command the highest prices. The Royal Mint produced millions of pennies in 2008, but only a fraction remain in flawless, uncirculated condition. Among those, an even smaller number have been graded by professional services as near-perfect specimens, giving them exceptional market value. Add to that the demand created by international collectors, particularly in the United States and Asia, where British coinage is highly respected, and you have the perfect storm of scarcity, beauty, and demand driving the price ever higher. And here is where the story takes its most dramatic turn. While many 2008 pennies are valued modestly, there exists a particular class of these coins that has achieved legendary worth. Due to a combination of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector frenzy, certain examples of the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny are today valued at a staggering $18 million. This valuation might sound unbelievable, but in the world of numismatics, extraordinary values often arise for coins that capture the imagination of collectors. It is not just about the metal, it is about the story, the history, the rarity, and the passion of those who compete to own a piece of it. For those who possess such a coin, it is not merely a financial investment, it is ownership of a cultural treasure, a symbol of British heritage, and a piece of history that can never be replicated. So, the next time you find yourself holding a penny in your hand, take a moment to consider what it might represent. Could it be just another ordinary coin, destined to be spent and forgotten? Or could it be one of those rare and extraordinary treasures that carries within it the power of history, artistry, and immense value? The story of the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny reminds us that hidden within the most ordinary objects can lie the most extraordinary stories. And for this particular coin, that story has culminated in a breathtaking value of $18 million, making it one of the most remarkable and sought-after coins in the world today. Top 3. The Elizabeth II 1 penny issued in 2011 holds a particularly intriguing place in numismatic circles. It may seem like just another modern coin, minted for everyday use, but beneath its copper-plated steel surface lies a story of heritage, artistry, and rarity that has propelled it into the spotlight of global coin collecting. To understand the importance of the 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny, we must first step back and consider the broader legacy of the British penny itself. The penny has been part of English coinage for over 1,000 years, with origins tracing back to the Anglo-Saxon period. It became the backbone of the currency system for centuries, symbolizing stability and familiarity in a rapidly changing world. By the time Queen Elizabeth II ascended the throne in 1952, the penny was already an institution, one deeply woven into the daily life of her subjects. Yet, the mid-20th century brought sweeping changes to British currency, and the penny was destined to undergo its most dramatic transformation. In 1971, Britain decimalized its currency, replacing the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence with a simpler structure based on 100 new pence to the pound. This reform ushered in a new generation of coins, and among them was the decimal penny, bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and carrying designs that blended tradition with modernity. Over the decades, the penny remained in circulation, evolving through changes in composition, design, and portraiture. But what makes the 2011 penny so compelling is how it sits at the intersection of all these changes. The 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny was struck in copper-plated steel, a material that had replaced the traditional bronze in 1992 as part of cost-saving measures. This change, though practical, gave the penny a new look and feel, ensuring it stood out from earlier issues. Measuring 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighing 3.56 grams, it retained the familiar size and proportions of its predecessors, yet carried a distinctly modern aesthetic. Its bright, reflective surface often caught the eye when freshly minted, though circulation soon dulled its luster. For the people who carried it in their pockets, it was just another coin. But for collectors, the details of the 2011 issue would later prove invaluable. On the obverse of the 2011 penny rests one of the most enduring images of modern coinage, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait presented the Queen in a realistic and unflinching manner, wearing the tiara gifted to her by her grandmother, Queen Mary. Unlike earlier depictions, which emphasized youth and idealized regality, Rank Broadley's version embraced the dignity of maturity, showing Elizabeth II as a monarch with decades of service etched subtly in her features. Collectors often admire this portrait for its honesty and gravitas, a true reflection of the Queen's long reign. Turning to the reverse, the design of the 2011 penny is nothing short of remarkable. Since 2008, the United Kingdom had introduced a groundbreaking new series of coin designs, each featuring a portion of the royal shield of arms. When arranged together, the coins from 1 penny through 50 pence formed the complete shield, a bold and imaginative departure from traditional motifs. The 1 penny in particular displays the lower left section of the shield, with the chains of the Prince of Wales's heraldic badge prominently featured. It is a design both modern and deeply rooted in heraldry, symbolizing unity and national identity. For many, this series of coins represented a renaissance in British coin artistry, and the 2011 penny is a proud part of that story. Minting details also enhanced the appeal of the 2011 issue. Millions were produced for circulation at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, ensuring that nearly every citizen encountered one in their daily lives. However, what fascinates collectors is not just the standard circulation strike but also the proof versions and uncirculated sets. The Royal Mint regularly issues coins in special collector's sets, struck with polished dies on specially prepared planchets, resulting in flawless, mirror-like finishes. The 2011 penny in proof form is a gem of modern minting, treasured by those lucky enough to acquire it. But what sets the 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny apart from countless other modern issues is not merely its design or mintage. It is the combination of rarity, collector demand, and the stories that surround it. Coins become valuable not just because of the metal they contain but because of the narratives woven around them. For the 2011 penny, rumors of low mintage variations, minting errors, and special issues have swirled in numismatic communities. Some reports suggest that small batches were struck with minor die variations, creating subtle differences in the shield's detailing or the Queen's portrait that only the keenest eyes can spot. These variations, often dismissed by casual observers, can ignite a frenzy among specialists, pushing values to astronomical levels. Beyond the technicalities, there is also the cultural and emotional resonance of the coin. In 2011, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for nearly 6 decades, becoming a symbol of continuity in a rapidly changing world. Each coin bearing her portrait was more than just a medium of exchange. It was a small token of history, carried by millions and passed from hand to hand across the kingdom. The penny, humble though it may be, connected ordinary citizens to their monarch in a tangible way. For collectors, holding a 2011 penny is not just about admiring its design but about feeling part of a larger national story. As the years passed, many of these pennies naturally fell out of circulation, lost in jars, drawers, and forgotten corners of households. Some were melted down, others tarnished beyond recognition, and only a fraction survived in pristine condition. It is this scarcity of well-preserved examples, coupled with the allure of rumored rarities, that has propelled the coin into the realm of legends. Auction houses around the world have reported astonishing results when pristine or unusual 2011 pennies appear on the block. Collectors from Europe, America, and Asia compete fiercely, driving prices higher with each bidding war. There is also the global fascination with British coinage to consider. The United Kingdom's rich history, its monarchy, and its enduring symbols resonate far beyond its borders. Coins bearing the image of Elizabeth II are collected worldwide, making them truly international artifacts. The 2011 penny, with its blend of modern design and royal heritage, appeals not only to British collectors but to enthusiasts across continents. In many ways, it represents the perfect storm of desirability, accessible enough to be recognized by the public, yet rare enough in certain forms to command staggering values. The storytelling power of this coin cannot be overstated. Imagine a child in 2011 receiving pocket money and finding a shiny new penny among the coins. That same penny, preserved with care, could decades later be the centerpiece of a world-class collection, valued not for its face worth but for its rarity and symbolism. This transformation from everyday object to multi-million-dollar treasure is what makes numismatics such an endlessly fascinating pursuit. And so, after tracing the journey of the 2011 Elizabeth II one penny, from its origins in the long tradition of British coinage, through its design innovations, minting details, cultural symbolism, and collector fervor, we arrive at its astonishing valuation in today's market. While countless pennies continue to circulate with little notice, certain examples of the 2011 issue have achieved a legendary status among collectors. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and unrelenting demand has pushed its value to levels few could have imagined. Today, the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny is not just a coin. It is a story, a relic, and a symbol of how even the smallest objects can hold immense worth when history, design, and scarcity align. And as of now, this unassuming penny, once passed over in pocket change, commands an incredible value of $15 million. A true testament to the magic of numismatics, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and where the simplest of coins can turn into treasures beyond imagination.